Good evening and welcome to a Tackle Room episode of the Twist Angler. I'm covering the 5 key items to bring to unknown waters when you're backpacking. Your bait tackle, your fly tackle, your spin tackle, your spoon tackle, and your rod, reel, and line. And I didn't cover, this video's been done previously. I didn't cover why I'm so proud of my small, what I would call ultralight bait fishing portion of the tackle. Is because I've been into waters where the weather's been colder, the lake level is either high and murky and cold, and the weather's terribly cold and the fish are sluggish, or it's just a particularly cold day on an early summer, and I don't know, just I've had little brookies that would only respond to power bait. I couldn't get them to respond to an artificial presentation, so I like to plan on cooking up some trout when I go backpacking, so that's why that portion's in there. So here we go. Here's the 5 essential items to bring to high mountain lakes when they're unknown waters. Hello and welcome to the Pullman Angler. Today I'm highlighting special gear for high mountain lakes. It goes along with the ultralight backpacking concept that I have other videos on. And so the 5 key items that I'm kind of covering are spinners, both large and small, spoons, primarily the Daredevil spoon, and changing them out with single hooks, and your bait gear and your fly gear, and then your other items that you want to have along. And this mosquito net is something that I've used a few times in a few lakes, and it was a necessity. And I actually had to put big gloves on my hands to keep them from biting my hands. The heat would not off. Mosquito repellent would not work. They were so fierce. I usually have 2 of them wrapped in Ziploc baggies, so always share them with a friend if the friend goes along. Please, you want to save these ultralight boxes if your gear comes in them for sharing tackle the trail or in the field with your hiking companions, your fishing companions. Might as well go into the power bait and bait box. Larger barrel swivels, I can't think if that's 1 ounce or half ounce or 3/4 ounce. You must add Eagle Claw bait hooks. They've got a little bit of a curved twist in them. There's bait holder barbs, and they snell. You can snell those in the field for maybe even snell a light 4-pound leader and a 6-pound mainline. I wouldn't go with a 4-pound mainline anyway. These smaller ones for when the brookies are smaller and it's just harder to get them hooked up without using lighter gear, and you got your beads so that when you're tying up to the barrel swivels that are in there, the bead keeps the knot in the barrel swivel from hanging up in the hole in the egg sinker. This Daredevil spoon has been switched out to a single hook. This one has not. It's only worked in a couple lakes for me, but when it did, it worked like clockwork. Up in Alaska, Mackinac after Mackinac in a little lake. Up in off the Pacific Crest Trail, the Hohenton Cutthroat after the Hohenton Cutthroat. Oh, and another lake in Okanagan River Valley, Okanagan, the Winthrop vicinity. This one for trout planted rainbows over and over in the 10 to 12 inch range. I assume they're planted. And correction, not the Hohenton Cutthroat up near the Crest Trail that high. West Slope Cutthroat. Or perhaps I should just say cutthroat so I don't make the mistake again. So the game department says they're planted annually. You're gonna have ultralight spinner box. That's a Panther Martin. I'd like to see it as a spin fly in that color, that pattern. Here's a Panther Martin spin fly. Just for fun, I could throw them in this sinker box, and you want to have split shots for getting your larger and smaller spinners out farther and deeper. Sometimes that'll work. A trick will work for you. I love this spinner too. This has worked like clockwork in a few lakes for the Hohentons, rainbows, and rookies, and maybe an occasional dolly that you have to release in Washington State, almost everywhere. And I'm embarrassed to say that I don't want to handle a fish that I got to release, and so I've caught some huge fish that might have been huge rookies, but back to freedom they went, and they didn't come out of the water. They try to make it easy to identify them, but that's my 2 cents on that. So you'll have to have a bigger box for your Daredevils. Probably there might be a box in between this size and this size. Let's see if a larger Daredevil would fit in here. Sorry, it would. I could lighten up my back tremendously with the Daredevils in here. So there's Castmasters. in here too. I've seen in videos where they're possibly using the blue and nickel finish gas masters for trowel in various sizes. In Washington State in the mountains, this was worked in the same lake where I catch them with Daredevil single hook barbless, crimped over and over. This single hook crimped Swedish pimple. Swedish pimple is kind of like a cast master. I use them for deli garden in Alaska. But this is a wedding ring, which is like a traditional kokanee and rainbow trout trolling lure, but you put your sinkers on here, your split shots or a barrel swivel with an egg sinker, and go out far and deep and do well. So you gotta have these on hand for crimping split shot and changing out your sea wash single hooks for your selective fishery regs on your Daredevils and your spinners. This one I showed earlier on the vest. You always want to have a pair of a knife. Might as well have multifunction plier tool knife in your fishing bag, because you don't want to forget it with your camping and sundries in your backpack or in a different pant pocket or something. This particular multifunction plier tool has the serrated cutting, but you might want to need to go through a backbone on a fish. And this doesn't fold up really because it's got this little ring on it, split ring. Anyway, so you can go back in the bag. And in a second, I'm going to stick all this in my handy duffel and weigh it. You want to have some off or deep in your fishing bag. You might even want to have 10 essential items like the compass, fire starter. This is a bag I really like for backpacking. Your knife, water reservoir could go in here. A map, something like that. Fishing rigs. Your duffel for backpacking would have to have a strap for hands-free. You got your pole and a camera or whatever. Your drink, you might want to have. Lots of times up there, I don't have drank tea in a long time, but I'd have a hot tea in the evening. Now would probably be a hot cocoa, sugar-free. Oh, you've got to have your teardrop torpedo. I call them teardrop, but the torpedo brand name is one of them. I think through Cabela's, and the type that you open up, feed water in. And that creates your weight for getting out farther, so they're half or 3/4 full of water, and they just float down in the water. And so I'm going with like the lightest fly box I can imagine. Right now, the only flies I have are these 3 different sizes of zug bugs. And brookies, on brookies they work really well. I had a very large zug bug in the mountain lake one time and hooked up on something I assumed was a big rainbow that actually broke my line. So I might get a big zug bug and go back into that lake. It's not too far; it's a fairly level hike, so I might do that. Let's see the zug bug. There's a tail on it. Can't see it very well. I almost want to get over near that light, but I'm sorry, it's not focusing. My handy desktop camera system is not focusing it that close. I'm sorry, embarrassed I didn't know that in advance. But and you want to have this is 4 pound. Maybe you've got some 4 pound in there for leader, and you want to have some 6 pound in your bag in case you got to reline your reel. Your reel may or may not go in your fishing bag depending on if you got a pull tube or a pull case where the reels can stay attached. I've got a pull case on order I've never used before. And that is that. So I will wish you happy fishing again. Goodbye from the Pullman Angler. Welcome to the Pullman Angler. I had a request from a cousin to do a 3-part series, shorten up my 25-minute video on everything that I put in what I'm calling an ultralight, if I may, backpack. So stay tuned. Reading just what's on the bag. Best Team SA77 sleeping bag. So you can see the dimensions on it. I was impressed with this when I got it, and I was a little worried too because it's not much there. And what R means regular or right side. No, it wouldn't be a right side zipper. I'm a goof. Lightweight, 700 grams. Look at your conversion on Google. Adult for adult. The dimensions. Sorry. 190 by 75 centimeters. And it's limit 48 degrees, comfort at 59 degrees. That's pretty much all you need to know. This is a platypus made by Cascade Designs Inc. Lifetime warranty, picked up at REI. I make these rubber bands myself out of inner tube rubber. They're very handy. And so this fills with water nicely. It'll sit flat. The base folds out like this, and it'll sit flat. I mean, it'll stand upright with water in it. And you can see that it's probably about the finger size, and I've seen them bigger on Cousins Expeditions. I've got to show you the pocket rocket now. When I was younger, it comes right out of this very quick and easy. I was doing a lot of backpacking. My gear was heavier, and this is very light. It's just a fraction of what I'm not gonna actually hook this up because I don't have a gas mask. But these are even smaller and lighter now. These little butane propane combo deals. I'm just gonna set this down. Now you probably want a bigger setup, nested cookware. As you can see, this is pretty tiny. This was pretty clever, but I'd like my wooden spatula a little bigger. And I will be investing in folding spatulas and spoons like I had before, just for camping. I don't know if I'll ever be in shape again to do this kind of expeditions, but I want to share my knowledge and have this gear on hand for various smaller outings. I want to discuss this without doing too much research on it. This is the Vaunt brand. I want to know what the model is. But these things will light up your camp in a jiffy. No more messing with butane or propane lamps at camp. And my favorite that I have right now is Cabela's RGB 11. And it's got 3 colors, and then if you hold it, it turns to white. A nice white light. The next segment is on these wallet-sized emergency blankets. I'd recommend 2 on just one night with no inclement weather expected. I recommend spring and fall or high altitude 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. I've had as many as 4 or 5 with me, and then didn't camp far enough into the trees, and it was by the lake, and the wind was cutting through the tent so bad with the rainfly on it that I had to take twine and tie the corners together, and maybe tape it too, and fix it for how I was showing the tent so that the wind wouldn't cut through the tent so bad. I went back up there with a 4-season tent, and the same thing happened again, and I had to wrap the tent. I might have wrapped it on the inside somehow, just up halfway and on the outside. I don't know. I've wrapped the tent a few times. And anyway, so you keep them in a Ziploc baggie with your 2 garbage bags. So you need to be able to clean up the camp. If it's a mess when you get there, you need to kick out your own garbage, and then you might want something to put your dirty clothes in. So this is one of my favorite items because I used to go out even when it called for rain, and I had a rain poncho or a rain shell pant tops to wear. But the this style hat I haven't even used in the field yet. Just to the mailbox is all I've used this thing for. It's supposedly foldable, but I really like to find a way to stow it away without folding it. It's in pretty good shape. It's not, so you can see this with this style it folds. It's a lot lighter weight version. It's a Columbia. It's been folded and stowed away many times in my pack. This you want to have a ball cap under it, probably because when it gets wet, it might want to fall down funny. I mean, I wear glasses a lot of times in the field for seeing at a distance, so I don't want my brim down over my glasses like this. And I want it close to my glasses to keep the rain out of my eyes. So I've definitely been out fishing and backpacking in all types of weather. Don't know if I'd ever do that again in my lifetime, but I'd like to restore myself to a point where I could. I'm taking vitamins and stuff like that to get back in shape, but I might be fasting to lose weight. None of the other diets are working. I might just fast. My doctor gave me permission to fast. So, good evening and welcome to the Pullman Angler. This year I'm planning on having a less than 30-pound pack weight for backpacking on overnight trips. For me, fishing trips should be well planned, and I like to make a harvest. I like easy meals with fish and mountain house food. Maybe some potato flakes or instant rice to go with some fish occasionally. That's really lightweight stuff to pack along. That's why I do it, and I like the Mountain House brand, the flavor, the way I feel after I eat it. I used to be in shape, and I used to backpack extensively, and so that's my 2 cents on that. Oh, I pretty much forgot a bunch of stuff. So this is an insert. Do make a checklist or find one and try to use it. It's very miserable if you forget an important item when you're up there, and every single one of them is important. This is minimalist, ultralight packing here. Coffee for sure, no mornings complete without it. Marshmallows for sugar intake. It'll keep you warm. You warm up quicker, or I tend to. Polypropylene underwear is something I've used in the past. I've got synthetic yoga pants. I'll probably go with fit 3X size. Some kind of sleeping pad. This is all I have left, and that's all I have for now. So now back to your regular programming. I thought of a couple other things: a rain poncho, a light one if you can find one, and a rain hat, boonie folder thing. Lightweight synthetic material folding rain hat that fits over your ball cap, and your ball cap keeps the thing from falling down over your eyes in front. And as you can get a rainstorm flowing through anytime, at any moment. This is life and death up there, so do be careful and plan well. Straps are here. You should have a variety of these for fixing your sleeping pad, tent. Maybe you want your jacket in a bag outside of your pack. Maybe you want your fishing bag outside of your pack so you can stop and fish a stream or a lake that's on the way. You might need something a little bigger than this. I'm going to have to extend the strap that's supposed to go below the abdomen, above the hip bones. But the pack will hopefully fit in such a way I can have this just over my belly, right about here, and then my belly can support some of the weight off of my shoulders. That's my plan. I'm sitting, so I'm kind of scrunched down. Just probably get right into fishing gear now. Oh, you need to have hockey tape too for modifying your pack, attaching things to grommets on your pack system. Fishing gear, I just thought I'd start there to generate some interest in this video. So, get exciting right off the bat, I should say. So these are Panther Martins and Castmasters in smaller sizes. You can see how it fits in my hand. It's not a real big box. At the trailhead, you'll want a myriad of those. Hang on to these when you get them. These lightweight boxes that your gear comes in. This could even be a fly box, 5-compartment fly box. And maybe the largest box you want to get into is something like this for Daredevils. Now this collection of fishing gear that I'm going to show you is for going into a lake that you've never been into before. You want your clear torpedo bobbers, teardrop bobbers, and a collection of flies. You want your Royal Coachman, Black Net, and others. But I don't know if you'll be able to see this in this dim light. I've got that sizing plate flipped over the flies. Sorry. 3 different sizes of Zug bugs there for brookies, and that's typically what I make the most harvest on when I go backpacking is brookies. But some lakes have large west slope cutthroat, and you want Daredevils actually a little bigger than this one. Anyway, so this is what I'm showing you the use for the larger box, your Daredevils. And in your spinner box, you might want to have some split. These are larger spinners. Some lakes have your west slope, your brookies, your rainbows, various brown trout, all kinds of different things stocked in the lake, perhaps milling around the system. So you might know the lake I'm talking about. And so the split shot helps you cast your spinners out further, especially those little ones I showed you earlier. They don't have a lot of weight to them, so to get them out, you might need your split shot. Going into a lake that you've never been to before, perhaps the weather is the lake is still cold and they're not real active, so you'll want your power bait, maybe your red. This is a orange and pink, and it's got the tinsel. I've never really been successful with the fleck, or what's it called, glitter. In this box I've got a ton of extra weight. I wouldn't need to pack all that extra split shot. That didn't need to be in there. And then but this bait box you probably want to have just about this much, just in case there's 3 larger ones for casting out further. But if they're small brookies that are only feeding on power bait, then it's the smaller size weight. You'll have to snell your own hooks up there, and a bead to keep the knot from. Oh, there's also there's barrel swivels in there too. Okay, keep the knot of the barrel swivel from hanging up in the. So Vibrax spinners haven't really caught a lot of fish on Vibrax spinners, but they're in there. This you don't probably need. My fish, I catch them pretty fast, clean them, they go in a Ziploc baggie, they go right into a stream close to camp, or cooked right away, or in a bag with snow if there's some around, or cold water. I pack them out to the car right away. I've actually used old Gatorade bottles to keep the cold water from leaking in the pack, but you could probably double or triple Ziploc gallon bags with water and get them out that way. But some people might want to use a stringer to carry the fish back to camp or wherever they're going to clean them. They die right after you put them in the water and start to deteriorate in the warmer, shallower water right away. So a stringer really isn't something that would go over here with the weights. I probably would have packed that in. That goes in my box of gear I'll probably never use again. And some lakes that I backpack into, they've got selective fishery rules, single hooks. So there's a single hook spinner that works in a lake for sometimes 10 and 12 inch. Rainbow's consistent limit right away. And then the Daredevil Spoons, sometimes you have to change them out with, I don't know if you call it a sea wash or what, but a hook like that. And believe it or not, a smaller rainbow will hook up on that really pretty well. I believe that size I've got in there, in that box, probably from that trip. So, I just stuck a reel in here because I was trying to estimate the weight on the pack. The reel would probably come off the pole, and the pole would either go in a safe tube in your pack, or you carry it in the tube. I've even had long tubes that it was essentially a walking staff going in. In your fishing bag, you probably want a rag. Something I forgot to put in this list is a camp towel and rag. So these stuff sacks are handy to have. You want to hang on to them. Just throw them in a camping box or backpacking box or fishing box, and don't get rid of them. Handy for packing clothes or a jacket or food. So I just want to show you this cheap Molly pack I got. This is how I got my pack weight down to 20 the other night, without missing some items. So my goal, I think I could conceivably get my pack weight down to 30. There was some stuff in the pack that I didn't need too. I was just throwing stuff in for weight. So there's a Molly system container with I'm trying to make it generic bug spray, and here's another Molly system folder, and it's got a generic Swiss Army knife. And on the other side is there's too many knives in this pack. That's getting the weight up too. Somewhere on here. Oh no, it's attached to another item. No, here. Oh, I got a light. I've got a light in here, a tactile light or whatever. So that was all. It's on the strap over my shoulders, facing on my front of my face. So, Hand essentials. You can look it up. There's backpacker checklist online too. REI has a nice one. So anyway, there's lots of different types of these backpacker headlamps. You got to have your compass. For some reason, I have the compass and the knife on the same lanyard. Another generic. Well, that's not generic. Old Swiss Army knife, but it's not Swiss Army. It's just maybe you want to maybe you've just got one headlamp and one backup light. I don't know if that would really be good, but you could. That might be good for just being non-disturbing in your tent. So the new canisters are smaller and they're butane propane mix, and I can flip this around. Maybe you can keep this generic. These are readily available now. Hope you can see it. I haven't actually used these in the field. I tested it one day before a potential power outage, and the power did flicker out here for a couple minutes. So here is a coated. I haven't even cooked these, so I don't know if it's coated enough to be non-stick. I think it is. So I could small brookies with the head and tail off, fried in the pan, or you can cut them in half and fry them. Or if they're bigger, your fillets could go in there. This is enough to boil the water. Enough water for a mountain house, probably a 2-person mountain house meal. You could probably get enough water in this pan for just one boil. So very small serving cups. And oh, you've got to see the pocket rocket. There's a folding spork. And if you didn't purchase a folding spatula or folding spoon to go with your gear, there is a wooden spatula. And so the folding pocket rocket is yay big. And there's things on here that can bend or break, perhaps. You have to be careful. I haven't used this much. It folds out like so. Very carefully balanced on a flat surface. Not up so high that you could potentially spill it on your foot and create nasty burns, so you can't wear your shoe out and you're flopping around in river sandals or barefoot or in double socks, triple socks to get out or something. Be careful. Yeah, bad story there. And so these Molly system bags I was using, but I'm hopefully going to get a Teton 4000, I'll just say. And it has the grommets, the Molly system, grommets and pockets that I like. So you take a smaller portion of toilet paper and flatten it, put a Ziploc baggie for your trips. That's what I always do. And this is it's called pork platypus. These fold-up water bladders. They hold a lot of water, several gallons in some of them. I like a travel cup that has a wider base, so that it isn't tipsy, but none of the lids match. So this went on the pack and hangs from a grommet from the pack. And I just got a bunch of grommets here because I'm still organizing packs. I've still got a mess in the pack. This bag has another compass and some deep insect repellent. You probably want to have several. You can share a bottle with somebody on the trail if you come to a really bad spot and somebody is suffering. Here's another headlamp and some AAA batteries, and I like everything kind of in a sanitary, clean Ziploc baggie separate. So most of the time, you get, if your pack doesn't have an integrated rain shell, things can get wet. If you get to your site and you're unpacking, things can get wet. So my bag is going to be ultralight, and this is about as light as you can possibly go. So it's rated down to 40 degrees, and it's my feet are probably going to be sticking out, or I'll be sleeping under it diagonally with one foot out. But that's how I sleep anyway. Normally I sleep pretty warm. Now if it gets too cold, these emergency blankets, you can tape two together. Sleep in it like a taco. The bottom side of the taco goes under your sleeping pad. Your sleeping bag goes over the reflective material. Your ultralight bag just lays over the top of you. I'm too small to zip it, too big to zip inside of this thing. And then this goes over the top of your warm up right away. And then you pretty much don't have to worry about whether this slippery dog stays over you or not, because you'll be warm. If you wake up cold, you want to have hot chocolate or marshmallows handy. You might have to stay up all night, but I think I'd be willing to do that rather than have sore shoulders or risk frying my back again. Or I got a bad ankle now too. And then so here's another stuff stack, and it has a flannel. You want the synthetic flannels? It's red checkered, and an ultralight synthetic slip-on shirt like this. A light I would pack one lighter than this, and just one pair of socks. And that's for one night. And you change the socks when you get to camp, and then you hike out in the socks that you arrived in. And then fire starter kit, even though fires are not really allowed as much as they used to be. And so you always want to have a stocking cap. And this is a Cougs Pullman cap. Somebody gave that to me on a trip a long time ago. And a Washington ball cap that I would take on a trip. Now you might want to have some two-way radios that run the AAA batteries as well. Little three-channel radios, like 2-mile range, depending on the topography. Here's another multifunction plier tool and a MOLLE, not a MOLLE system. This is a belt system thing, but you can just hang it from a carabiner. And there's one more bag, and I think it just has a first aid kit in it. And that is pretty much everything I can think of. No, there might be some more. Let's see. So the pack, or no, the tent I want to talk about weighs. Try to find one that weighs 2.75 pounds. I have. Sleeps 2 people. Is 6 or 6.5 foot long. 2 people wide. In a bag with a carrying handle in case you don't want to have the weight on your back for some reason. Maybe the tent's wet. Maybe you need the shelter. Maybe you need to throw the shelter up quickly for some reason. I don't know. I like this bag that's 23 inches long and 4 inches in diameter with a handle for this pack. And now, I mentioned the warmer coat with the shell with the hoodie. I think that would go in a clothing in one of these little stuff sacks in the bag. A vest, a fishing vest. I have like an 8X fishing vest with big pockets that would take fishing boxes even bigger than this if I wanted to fish the Puget Sound with buzz bombs or giant daredevils for Mackinac or something, like trout. And so that warmer coat's for nighttime, and the vest could go under it. Your long sleeve collar shirts. It's always nice to be able to pull that collar up. It makes a big difference. And actually, a beanie cap with ears, or even the fold out neck piece would be better. I don't have one of those. Oh, I do have. I've got this. That might actually go in the pack. A little more practical. That would really keep you warm. I mean, this isn't a real terribly thick material, and the wind could still blow through. But these are fair weather trips that I'm going on. Light, no rain, no freezing temperatures. Should have a little roll of duct tape. You can actually take the tape off the cardboard roll inside of it and roll it up on itself, and that's for repairing the tent or a dozen other items. I was on a hiking trip once, and the glorious external frame JanSport lifetime warranty pack broke on me, and I had to do a repair. And I've had to repair tents too, and mice were getting in the corners ripped out. So I had the tent up until recently. I don't know what happened to it. And the tape from a repair 20 years ago was still holding up in this tent, and I have no idea why. And or maybe I might have retaped it over the years. Water pump with filter, or water tablets, or both. I'm thinking about going just with water tablets. I did use my water filter for a long time, and before that I was just drinking out of streams, but and boiling water as often as I could, kind of a thing. So yeah, I want to get that Teton 4000 with the pockets and the grommets. So good night and happy fishing.
Waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, flashing lights against the sky, giving up, I close my eyes, sitting cross-legged on the floor. wondering how much I can take. Should I try to do some more? 25 or 64.